football family. Welcome to Ball Chat Podcast, where we review some of the week's major news in the world of football. I'm one of your hosts. My name is Benton, along with the rest of the Ball Chat family. Come on, Junior Wagwan family. How you guys doing?
I'm good, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. I'm doing wonderful. Junior Wagwan, Brethren.
I need VAR to be everywhere. That is my mood today. I need VAR everywhere.
Why? So do you need VAR in the Concacaf World Cup qualifiers, Junior?
Depends on if Hector started as a centre back, no.
So Football Lovers Ball Chat Podcast about reviewing some of the week's major news in the world of football. We're going to discuss, it's all about international football. At the start of the show, we'll discuss Jamaica Reggae Boyz game against US. Get your final thoughts on that game. We'll also discuss detailed deep dive into the CONCACAF World Cup qualifiers and officially pick our group winners and teams that are going through. We'll also remind football family how the format is for CONCACAF World Cup qualifiers. We'll discuss Cristiano Ronaldo getting cheated out of a goal in UEFA World Cup qualifier against Serbia. And we'll have Yardballers and Women's Football Report. Football family, if you're seeing some pixels in my image, that means my lights are acting up. I apologize. But, my audio is coming through great. I'll try to fix it as we go through the show. All right, kicking it off. If you're on the FlowSports YouTube page, our Ball Chat Facebook page, our Ball Chat YouTube page, or join us on Twitter, you can take part in the show, join in, take part in a live and fun discussion. Big thoughts and big takeaway, football family. Your thoughts on CONCACAF World Cup qualifiers. Come on, Gusinik and Curacao looks like a special team. Your thoughts?
Yeah, but we are always complaining about the imported players for our side. Check out Curacao side. It was not every game is going to be Premier League or World Cup quality kind of football, but it was enjoyable. It wasn't just kick the ball down the road and then run and catch it. It was a good enough game. And I think Curacao will actually go a long way because they brought in the pieces that they will need to make the team successful.
All right. So, Junior, your thoughts on Suriname is another team that, and we'll get to let's just go ahead and highlight the major results, the most recent date. Turks and Caicos, my team, my brethren, Andrew Edwards and Omar Edwards, Shavar Thomas, the entire Jamaican crew in Turks and Caicos took a beating from Nicaragua. They got 7-0. Anguilla picked up 6. Junior, your early thoughts on these games that are taking place in CONCACAF World Cup qualifiers, Road to Qatar 2022.
I don't want to sound mean, but it is the status quo. I traditionally I don't see any surprises because anybody that know of Curacao know that they always have that Nicaragua always have some talent playing in at this level. Now when back then when you had the semi-final round, right before you had the semi-final round, you had the qualifiers, right?
Yeah.
And unfortunately, this was where we got to saw the disparity in quality amongst the teams that are trying to come up. So to me, there isn't much surprises other than I echo what Tamon said. Before, it used to look like high school football. Now we see teams actually trying to play to some form of a role, some form of a style, which only speaks to CONCACAF getting better.
Yeah, and maybe that's down to your liking of your big league, the Nations League. I know I was not a fan of it in the early days, but it's definitely is helping the minnows, so-called air quote minnows, rise and get some football, even though a lot of these teams haven't played football in over a year or so, or look close to a year. Let's go through the groups in CONCACAF. We're going to formally predict our group winners. Just to remind football family, the way CONCACAF World Cup qualifier is laying out for 2022. In round one, you have 6 teams, 5 teams per group. Make sure. I think our audio chipped out for a second there. I think now the audio is supposed to be coming through. Junior, did you hear any complaints from anyone about audio?
I let me repeat the great analysis that I just made.
Yeah.
I said no, but El Salvador is odds-on favorite. I give El Salvador a nod, but it is so unpredictable with COVID protocols. We're in such a different time. You don't have fans in the stand well as much.
Okay.
Anything can happen, but El Salvador is odds-on favorite, but don't sleep on Antigua.
Okay. And come on, just to repeat, since the audio may have not gone through with your prediction, officially you have El Salvador, right? Come on.
Yeah, I do have El Salvador. Antigua is probably the second favorite for this team. But as we said, don't count out Montserrat because they held Antigua to a draw.
And so, moving over to Group B, you have Suriname and Canada Suriname sitting on top. Suriname has definitely imported or brought in a lot of players playing in the European leagues. Is Canada the favorite to win this game?
Yes. I mean, like, Canada, you cannot say Canada isn't the favorite. But as you said, Suriname is also a team that you can't sleep on. Bermuda squeak in a one goal versus Canada kind of make me kind of wonder a little bit about them, a little bit shaky. But I think Suriname is the second favorite. I think Suriname will kind of make it a little bit interesting, but Canada for sure would be the favorite. It would be awful if Canada did not survive this game.
Okay, it would be awful. Canada defeated Bermuda. Junior, your prediction on Group B.
I think Suriname will make it.
You think Suriname will defeat Canada and make it into the final round of Concacaf?
Alphonso Davis and company, us here, but I think Suriname is going to make it.
Really? Canada defeated Bermuda. They look pretty good, but of course, we cannot judge them based on the game against Bermuda. All right, let's look at Group C and D. Group C and D, Guatemala and Curacao. This is potentially could be the group of death. Gusenik, the big coach of Curacao. Does Gusenik takes Curacao into the next round of CONCACAF World Cup qualifiers, football family?
I think so. I think Curacao is the favorite, but at the same time, you can't discount Guatemala because Cuba wasn't really a bad team. If you watch the game, Guatemala beat them. British Virgin Island in Pia. They beat them 3-0 as well. So I would say Curacao will go through, but it's going to be a challenge from Guatemala.
Okay, so Junior, come on and speak in the European coach, Gusenik, former of Chelsea fame, big man for Chelsea, in his time, and a legendary coach in the space. Curacao, he's leading Curacao, Gusenik. Who you've got in Group C, Junior?
I'm carrying Curacao too, because at this point, coaching makes a difference.
Okay.
Preparation makes a difference. Experience makes a difference.
And none of you all are siding with our football family member, Des Morris, who joined us a few weeks ago, former St. Vincent standard. None of you is giving St. Vincent any love here.
Yeah, get 5 love. Desmond, you know we love and respect the work that you're doing. But you need to send the product on to St. Vincent because the first touch is just horrible.
I can do the 5 love them again. All the love them need.
Oh my gosh.
And what about Group D? So Panama is currently leading Dominica 1-0. Dominican Republic is sitting on top of the group. Panama.
I think this would be the group of death, Junior. Benton.
Really?
I think it is because seriously, Dominican Republic, don't sleep on them. But at the same time, Panama is always one of the top teams out there. So, for Dominican Republic to be leading Panama in the group now, it speaks, even though the quality of play or the opponents for Dominican Republic was a little bit, questionable. But you know, I think this is the group of death because Panama only beat Barbados by 1 goal.
Yeah.
For a dominant team like Panama, you'd have seen them with a bag of Barbados, but they actually did not. So, you know, Dominican Republic beat up Anguilla 6-0. So I think this is the group of death. I think it's going to be hard for Panama to advance from this group. If them slip, I think they'll slide.
And Panama has a history of playing down to its competition. I think Barbados with Russell Latapi at the coach, the general Russell Latapi leading them, was very unlucky in the game against Panama. They lost that game 1-0. Panama scoring in what? The 86th minute to eke out that victory. Junior, your prediction on Group D, do you think Panama will make it to this next round?
Yeah.
Okay. It's a formality. All right, wrapping up with Groups E and F in Concacaf World Cup qualifiers. We're getting our predictions in. Nicaragua and Haiti is sitting in Group E. Those are the two favorites for Group E. St. Lucia is officially out. We'll talk about this fiasco. Give us an overview, come on, quickly on what's going on with St. Lucia. The players were demonstrating on Tuesday for the president, Lyndon Cooper, to be out. It's official. St. Lucia is withdrew from the tournament. I hope they don't get any punishment by FIFA or CONCACAF.
You know, they should. I think the Football Federation should, because if you follow the news and you follow the story, the Ministry of Sport, the government, they were not told about this decision. So it's just like JFF withdrawing Jamaica without telling Ministry of Sport or the government about it. So they were not talking to each other, and I think they were talking about the problem was the logistics.
Yeah.
And the government is saying that it shouldn't be, because they made provision for other teams, even the netballers, to get their COVID test, to get their vaccination, to have a place to train. So the excuse about not getting anything cleared by the government is actually not true, based on what the government is saying. So it's like the Football Federation decided to make their own decision. They didn't talk to anybody else and just withdraw the St. Lucian players. And the St. Lucian players are really, really upset about it. That's why they protested.
We're still waiting for something from St. Lucia. They haven't officially. I haven't seen a statement from them. Junior, you were saying something?
I don't.
Why does it even matter if St. Lucia withdraw or not? I mean, they will end up at the bottom of the group anyway. And in this pandemic, I mean, why risk the health and safety of your players and your team?
Yeah, but you know how we the copycat world, and when something happens, somebody's kind of set an example. I look at what happened there and worry about Jamaica in the final round, because you don't know what how the players are going to react. And when there's something that happened where players talk out against the federation, against the organization, and we see what happened with Jamaica recently, I am just hoping it doesn't carry over.
Okay.
That's what I'm hoping for.
All right. You're hoping that one. Yeah, but I hope so too. Quick prediction from Group E regarding this CONCACAF qualifiers. Nicaragua, Haiti. Haiti looked a bit labored against Belize. They won against Belize. Quick prediction.
Nicaragua.
And not Haiti.
No. Nicaragua, even though let us take away Turks and Caicos. No disrespect to you, Coach Edwards and Shavar. No disrespect to you, Aaron. But Nicaragua tends to give trouble. Remember, they gave Jamaica that heart, the problem. You know what I mean? Like, we almost got knocked out. Yeah. So I think Nicaragua is actually good. Haiti have this tendency to kind of wet the bed when they need to actually move forward. And you're right, they looked out of it. They looked lethargic. That did not look good. And I think Nicaragua will move forward with confidence. After that 7-0 trashing, I think confidence is actually something that they'll build on. So them for me in a group here.
And goal difference will play a huge role. So whenever Haiti plays Turks and Caicos, they better go in. Send forth the sacrificial lamb.
Goal difference now play the major role. All Haiti have to do is beat Nicaragua.
Oh, all Haiti have to. This is true. All Haiti have to. But Nicaragua might park a bus and play for a draw, Junior.
All right, so yeah, well that is true. That is true.
But
Benton, before we talk about Group F, let me set the reminder and put disclaimer out there that Ball Chat Podcast is the #1 football show in Trinidad. So I hope my fellow hosts remember that before we start talk. All right.
Trinidad, let's get to Group F. Big up Trinidad, all the Trinidadian family watching us in the Twin Island Republic. Trinidad is sitting second, but they beat Guyana pretty easily with all the drama surrounding Trinidadian football and the Soca Warriors' inability to keep things in-house. It was quite easy the way they defeated Guyana. Your thoughts?
It was quite easy, but they didn't look good. Trinidad, we love you. You know, Fenwick, you're my boss. But they never look good doing it. And yes, a win is a win, but Trinidad needs to tighten up them belt and kind of fix up them folly ground. And it's a goal difference why St. Kitts really on top of the table. So
St. Kitts has played 2 games. So Trinidad have a next game against Puerto Rico coming up this afternoon. Yeah.
They're actually playing now. They're in the 20th minute, 0-0.
Oh, they're playing.
So I do think that Trinidad will come out of this group.
Did you guys see that penalty that the Trinidadian player took? I forgot his name. That he had 3 attempts to score the goal and he didn't score it.
We are the #1 show in Trinidad. Go easy.
No, but even Trinidadian football fans are cussing him like, Brethren, how many times are you going to try and kick the ball in the goal? Junior, your prediction on Group F. I guess you're going with Trinidad.
Sure.
Oh, that's it.
So that's it, Junior. You don't think that Trinidad? I mean, who can beat Trinidad out of this group?
Sure.
No. And of course,
Puerto Rico. Even though they lost to St. Kitts and Nevis.
Of course.
All right.
Continue.
For that joke aside, Trinidad is way too volatile. That is why this road is going to be is closer than everybody thinks. They are way too volatile. They at any minute now they can just fall apart. So, but I think Trinidad is going to go.
And big up the football family, Kelvin, Jack, apart. Kelvin, those are the words of Trinidad, of Junior, all right? Big up the assistant coach for the Soca Warriors, Kelvin Jack, of joining us on the show. And will join us coming up in a show after these after these rounds. So the big team so far from you guys' standpoint is as Curacao is the team that you guys thought has pretty much been the standout so far?
Yes.
You guys don't have a problem with Gusinik coming in and running the ship as Remco joined, former Curacao coach Remco joining Canada staff? You guys don't have a problem?
Hold a second.
Yeah.
I don't want you to ask that. You will ask the people of Curacao who will qualify or who will move on to the next round. Listen, they don't really care. They really don't care. They show you that they want to qualify. You know why they show you and how they're showing us? They get this good coach who he's recruiting good players to move the program forward. What kind of problem we must have?
Well said. All right. And once again, football family, we're recapping some of the games, the World Cup qualifier games for Qatar 2022. We're going to get to the Cristiano Ronaldo goal, get to Jamaica's football discussion here in a second. But quickly, Qatar 2022 will take place November 21st to December 18, 2022. We have 32 teams. Africa will get 5 slots. Asia 4.5. Europe gets 13. Concacaf 3.5. Oceania gets 0.5. And CONMEBOL gets 4.5 space. All right, let's step to this Cristiano Ronaldo goal and the lack of VAR. Your thoughts on the fact that UEFA has delayed the implementation? They've said that it's because of the pandemic, but they really cheated CR7 and Portugal a victory against Serbia. Come on.
Look here, Messi is my player. The Omega, I don't know. But look, on a serious note, it's like Kerry and I were arguing back and forth because he's saying that I was saying that the air was out of position, but I don't want to tell Kerry saying right, but Kerry, you were right. When I looked at it, and you're right, nobody can chase down a long ball, right? So I think it was really unfair because it was more than 5 inches across the line. It was clearly across the line, but then we have the benefit of having replay, so they don't have it, so they really need it. And to think that and I understand why Ronaldo was upset, right? So they were leading 2-1, right? Last week of the game, they never get the goal. Fine. But they had the opportunity to win, to go ahead with 3-2 instead of, getting only a point. So I understand his frustration, and I think it was really, really unfair. And I think because this happened to one of them stars, look how quick them going to address this. That they can't go on like
this. I envision they probably will put it in, right?
I mean, they have to. I mean, they have to. You have one of the best players in the world cheated out of a goal that could have given his team, his country, his team, the 3 points. So I mean, yes, they have to address it, and I think Portugal already wrote to them. Portugal already talked about it. They already sent in their grievance, and I think it should be looked at because that was clear robbery.
That's not going to happen. They're not going to make a change this World Cup cycle. It won't. That's a next World Cup cycle change if they make it at all. Okay. And I'm sorry, come on, you're a referee. I big up to all the referees I know out there. That linesman won 3 backs, and if you look at the video, the linesman was running back. If you look at the video, he was by the goal line, but he did not want to make that call. I'm just going to say, and it's unfortunate, but it is football. We see England in the World Cup when the ball was clearly over the line. I think it was the Lampard long shot. I don't remember who they were playing in the World Cup.
Argentina, I think.
And it cost them. That wasn't Argentina, but it cost them a trip to the second round.
Okay.
And nothing happened right after that. They don't just say, "Yo, sour grapes, live with it."
Oh, the shot that. Okay.
I think Ronaldo was more frustrated with Portugal performance than not getting a goal. It's like the icing on the cake, like the feather that broke the camel's back, because they needed an own goal to win the last game. And then now you're coming back in now and struggling. It's almost like there's a cloud over the team. I don't know what is going on. Ronaldo is probably getting old, and this is just his reaction right now as an older baller. But I don't think, put it this way, Ronaldo was one of the biggest stars in world football. He's still regarded as a big star in world football out of respect. Messi is still regarded as a big star out of respect. But if anything happened to them right now, I don't think FIFA going to say, "Oh my God, we have to change this right now." They won't say that. If it was Mbappe, if it was Haaland, we'd be having a different conversation. But no.
Yeah. I disagree. I mean, I completely disagree with Junior. Not even a little bit, but a wholly. But disagree. I think they'll fix it because it happened already, happened again on to one of the biggest stars. And number two things can be true. He was frustrated with Portugal's lack of performance. And then he was also frustrated with the referee and the referee's assistant for missing that big goal. So 2 things can be true. They didn't, you're right, they never look all that great. They looked a little bit shaky, but they have to fix it. I remember, at first everybody complained, oh, we don't want VAR. It will take away from the. This is what these things are for. All right, then forget VAR. Want to goal line technology?
Yeah.
Want to the watch for your hand? I mean, like those things. Yes, you can miss an offside or whatever, or a foul or whatever. But for those things, right, where the AR is out of position, you as the referee is out of position because you can't see, because the body block you from the ball, so you can't see goal line technology. We see it in the English Premier League where it's a matter of inches, and to our eyes, we're like, oh my, there's no way on earth that can be a goal. But the referee put his watch and said the ball crossed the line. This would have helped. They don't have to bring the man in the boot, Junior, but the goal line technology would be a good thing to have in a tournament of this magnitude.
Yeah.
So it's just poor, and I hope Cristiano Ronaldo is the person who makes the change or allows the change to happen.
And UEFA released a statement saying that it's because of, to kind of put in a nutshell, it's because of the pandemic why they weren't able to implement it. So let's see. But quickly, UEFA qualification to Qatar 2022, they have 10 groups. And the group winner, each group winner makes it directly to the World Cup. They get 13 slots as previously mentioned. And the runners-up will go off in a playoff qualification to get to Qatar. But I just want to highlight Group A with Portugal and Serbia. I mean, Portugal should not have any issues winning this group, right?
No, they won't. And this is going to galvanize the team too. In my opinion, this is going to galvanize them. They are going to become more focused. And I think Portugal is just too midfield heavy. And you have too much stars from other teams trying to play together. And the big dog sit down there and say, yo, I am the king. So, no, there shouldn't be any problem.
It shouldn't. And come on, quickly, your thoughts on Group C. And the reason being Italy and Switzerland are both in Group C. As again, reminders that the automatic group winners go on to Qatar 2022. Who do you think will win this? Italy seems to be getting itself together in terms of playing some decent football.
Switzerland plays some decent football too.
Okay.
I mean, so I think Switzerland will actually go through.
Okay. All right, and we won't predict all the European groups. We will, we already predicted the Concacaf groups. So before we wrap up International Week football, I just want to get your thoughts on a pretty hot topic this week before we get to Jamaican football and women's football report. The U.S. team, there's a lot of discussion about the U.S. team. Of course, they defeated the Reggae Boyz 4-1 in Austria. There are those in U.S. football circle who are saying that this team is being earmarked to win World Cup 2026, which is stateside. I want to get you guys' thoughts on that. Is this, of course, they have Gio Reyna, Weston McKennie, Tyler Adams. It's a young group of players. Is this a bit premature?
A bit? You know you want to go first?
No, your assessment. I mean, ultimately, they have to dream.
Listen. Today, U.S. fans are a little bit obnoxious. We know this. And they call Jamaica farmer. Trinidad, them going to say whatever. But them call my Jamaican team, farmers team. Not if they're not out of order. This is why I'm going to cheer against them. But aside from that, if they play a better team, then we can assess. But they have not really been challenged that much. Even today with Northern Ireland, most of Northern Ireland starters weren't there. I mean, they were playing like the B team or whatever, and yet it was a 2-1 scoreline. So I just think it's a little bit premature. Leave them alone. Make them beat up them chests. Then beat up them chests too. When they were supposed to play Trinidad to go to the last World Cup. Same excitement, same around this Pulisic is the star, So the Yardballers boy take us it was the same foolishness. And guess what? Trinidad whoop them and them never got. Leave them with them to them own thing. But I just think it's a whole bunch of young babies. And I just think that they're not that great. They think they're that great, but I just don't think that they're that great.
All right, Junior, come on, give a mouthful. Your thoughts on some U.S. soccer fans who are already proclaiming that this team can win the 2026 World Cup. Of course, they're one of the hosts. They don't have to worry about qualifying.
No, all right. I'm gonna be 100% honest. Any team that hosts the World Cup, Mexico 86, no, Mexico was 90. Mexico 90, Italy 86.
No, Mexico was 86.
No, Mexico 86.
Yeah.
Who was 90?
Italy, I think.
94 was the US, right?
94 was the US, yes.
98 France.
Yes.
All the way up. Look at South Africa when they hosted the World Cup. Look at Korea when they hosted the World Cup.
Yeah, South Korea, Japan, yeah, in 2000.
All of these countries that host the World Cup have a boost. They get a boost in support, right?
Yeah.
America overachieved in 1994. Yeah. Right? They did. And then Brazil needed something special to beat them in what was semifinals or whichever semifinals, I think.
Yeah.
America is going to get a boost when they host the 2016 World Cup. This team they have is a damn good team. If they all advance and if they do progress in their careers as expected, they should do something this coming World Cup, not next World Cup.
Yeah.
I think that statement is a statement to get sponsors on board, to get that machine going, to where you're creating fortresses in the United States, where even Italy, France, Brazil are afraid to play against America when America hosts in the World Cup. Okay. That is what that statement is. Okay. But let me run down this team. In 2014, Julio Cesar, Maicon, Thiago Silva, David Luiz, Marcelo, Fernandinho, Paulinho, Oscar, Hulk, Neymar, Fred, Gabigol. All of these ballers, Gabriel Jesus, all of these ballers that were coming up for Brazil in 2014. Brazil was supposed to win the World Cup 2014, take the monkey off of them back from 90s, and get a piece of 7-1 from Germany.
Yeah.
Listen to me, America. Wanna shut up with the mouth and don't put target on the youth them back if they cannot mentally work with it. You are better off taking the underdog mentality. You are going to get that natural boost. You're going to get it. But don't go start the rhetoric and make Gio Reyna, Christian Pulisic, and them little ballers start believe the hype that they're supposed to win 2026 World Cup. Because that is going to get, you're creating a problem for yourself.
Yeah, creating a target. Now, and I quickly want, do they have the right man for this job? Greg Berhalter. He seems to be the guy who's driving them right now. Do they have to go out and get one of these fancy managers? With the crop of players they have, it's a very talented squad. Of course, they defeated the Reggae Boyz in a friendly, but ultimately the big metric or the big measure will be in the World Cup qualifier starting in September. Do they have the right manager to stir this team to so-called greatness?
You want me to tell you who Greg Berhalter is?
Yeah, who?
Greg Berhalter is very similar to my boy. Oh, why the name slip me now? Klinsmann.
Jürgen Klinsmann.
Germany.
Okay.
Germany.
Yeah.
Remember, Klinsmann changed Germany from this rudimentary, metallic type of a robotic football. He changed the mentality, but he did not have what it took to take them over the edge. Needed a low to come in and put them over the top. Berhalter is there as a bridge to get these younger players to play at a certain level. And then you bring in the bigger coach who probably don't exist as yet to come and coach them in 2026. They are going to bring somebody, a big name that we don't know yet, to coach them in 2022, 23. After that World Cup cycle, they are going to bring in a big name coach after you have these professionals learn to be real professionals.
Okay. So at some point, you're going to need to get a World Cup winning manager. Football family, let's hear what the family's saying on the chat, Junior. We haven't We haven't checked in with World Cup football is so nice. We haven't checked in. What the family saying?
No, big up Ice King TV, and big up Borrell DXN and FlowSports. Also, Heraldo Haynes saying USA and England need a coach. Me give US a better chance in a 2026 World Cup than England. Why, Heraldo, I don't know what you're talking about. Portugal now have a young generation of talented wealth of players. The coach path winnings and with physical defense. Heraldo, Patwa beat my brother. El Pistolero said how VAR wasn't present, and BM said if the US wins 2026 World Cup, I'll change the name on my birth papers. Let me tell you something. I'm going to set, you can set a reminder in your Google Calendar. I'm setting a reminder in my calendar for 2026. BM, don't go missing, 2026 is just, 5 years from now? Don't go missing.
So, and I want to ask a quick question. I mean, the World Cup has been dominated by the winners, that is, has been dominated from Europe and South America. Isn't it about time somebody from, Concacaf win this thing? And
Like
so what if it's the US?
Mexico.
We're too bad man for US win. And Mexico we are bring. Mexico.
So, but I mean, I have no problem if they win it in 2026. I mean, but yeah.
Oh my God, man. We couldn't hold them. We couldn't hold them. If them ever win, we could not hold them. And I disagree with Junior saying that they're going to bring in a bigger coach. Even though Greg's brother is leaving the US Soccer Federation because he was a part of the setup. I think they're going to stick with him. If they really reach a level of success with all these players, all the players are going overseas to play, they're bringing him back. I think if he continues to win, like how he has been winning, I think they're going to stick with him. I mean, why bring in another Klinsmann when they can't have a Greg?
So, come on, you expect Greg Berhalter's voice to resonate in the locker room for 2 World Cup cycles?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they like him. He's an MLS coach. I mean, they know him. Most of the players know him. So listen, the key is to continue winning. Because once he stops winning, once the team stops winning, then I'm gonna rip him apart. But for now, the marriage, the honeymoon phase, is a little bit behind us. They're moving into the relationship stage right now. So I think as long as he has been winning, beat up Trinidad, beat up Jamaica, beat up Northern Ireland, beat up Mexico, they'll be okay.
And those are meaningless games still enough. Friendly matches them enough.
But you can't tell the fans that. The fans, I mean, like, what are they basing the winning the World Cup on?
Okay.
Them they're meaningless friendly to us. I mean, that's what they're using as a measuring stick. Yeah. We beat Trinidad 7, we beat Jamaica 4-1, we beat Northern Ireland 2-1, we run down Mexico, we beat them. They're using that to say, my players, Pulisic, forget that Pulisic is not starting at Chelsea, not scoring at Chelsea, not being an integral part of Chelsea Football Club. Forget that. It was all about Pulisic play. All about him. So it's like you expect them to show this excitement. For us, it's okay because Christian is not performing anywhere else. Yeah. But the USA is loving him up. He's going to save them, bring them to World Cup. We can't bring Chelsea to a top 5, but anyway, they'll be okay.
We'll get to Chelsea and, well, not even Chelsea. We don't have no time for Chelsea today.
Ramon said USA can't beat Mexico right now, and that is true. And I'm going to go out and say this. USA will struggle to beat Jamaica's best 11 in a meaningful game on US side. They're going to struggle. And I am curious to say, when Gio Reyna got travel in National Stadium, I am curious to see how Gio Reyna react when him go Mexico, go Azteca, when the Mexican man run him down. So these are the things that we don't know how they're going to react. We know they are young players. We know them talented. I am curious to see what going to happen to Serginho Dest when they make a big run and one of them wild Costa Rican come through and clean him up. That is what me want to say. And a Barcelona this, and a Messi you run with. I am curious to see what Pulisic, what going to happen to Pulisic when him kick a one shot and the ball go wide and him drop him head. So before we start anoint this American team, they are talented. A very good, strong, talented team. But I don't see that striker that is going to cause havoc in Concacaf right now.
Yeah.
And I don't see that difference.
As a restaurant Premier League football, you want a man them experience, you know. You talk about take a man foot.
But come on.
I understand what you're saying. I think they're like princesses. You know, they're so, you know, they're in their comfort zone. And I understand what you're saying. Because El Salvador, where the fans are there, I mean, how do you do it? Do you see a desk or a arena as one of those commons? Remember when them threw the glasses from London Donovan and pick it up and put it on? I mean, you know, would these players be at that level? I don't understand what you're saying. The national stadium is no fortress. With nobody not afraid to beat me. One time, with more than what I tell you, say people afraid to come to Jamaica come play at the national stadium. It's not that anymore. But to go to Mexico, go to El Salvador, even Panama, Costa Rica, I don't know if they can. Even Nicaragua is a little bit challenging. I understand what you're saying. I am not anointing them. I think they're a good enough team. I don't think they're good enough to get rid of, because right now they might push Jose Altidore to the side. They might need him because, as I said, we don't see that striker where we think is all that. But you know, good for them.
We don't see that Alexis Lalas type defender where everybody hate, but is one brother with no him can step up and play against any. I think that's what they're missing, that US steel. That's why I don't think Berhalter going to coach them in 2026. I think they're going to struggle to qualify for the World Cup. I really do. I think they are a very good team, but playing in CONCACAF is a different element. And when you have them money now, we're going to leave Germany or leave Dortmund. We're going to leave the confines of Chelsea, leave the confines of London, and then fly, come to Kingston, and then them money have got to turn on AC themselves. It sounds degrading. It sounds like I'm disrespecting a third world country, but I am not. This is the reality that some of these players are going to face. Where's the motivation for them to say, yo, I'm going to come and play my best?
I agree. I mean, the beauty about World Cup qualifiers is, especially in South America, Central America, is what you get when you travel away. And so for this U.S. team, the real test is when they go on the road. Honduras, Costa Rica, those places where regents piss get tossed on it at them. So, and fans spitting at them. So that's the real test. They're a talented bunch of players, but until they go on the road in those hostile environments and survive, I think it's premature to elevate them to such status. Before we step away from international football, quickly, just pivoting from the U.S., what's next for the Reggae Boyz? Come on. Is there any friendlies? Of course, we lost to the U.S. Is there any friendlies? Coach Tappa Whitmore spoke about he would like to get this group of players back together, to paraphrase his statement quickly. Is there anything in the line and the plannings as we get ready for Gold Cup and, most importantly, World Cup qualifiers?
I have not heard about any other fixtures, any friendlies. But I think Tappa has said in an interview that he was pleased with the team. He acknowledged that, you know, it was lack of chemistry. The training, they only had one training session. And he did say that he would bring back some of the players that played in the friendly. So I haven't heard anything about what's going to happen, like another friendly that's coming up. But I think Tappa is okay with the group that he has.
Yeah, expand the group. And also, one other question, do we know anything about the players I think there were a couple of players that tested positive in Austria, if I'm not mistaken. Do those players stay in Austria? If so, and what is the plan for them to return back to their clubs?
JFF is kind of secretive. I haven't heard anything about the players who are COVID, but you would think that they can't travel, so they would have to actually stay. I mean, when you're COVID positive, they don't allow you to travel. So I mean, they must be there.
Yeah.
Hey, Ramon is asking, come on, were you impressed by the English boys versus USA? Benton, I know you're going to that question, probably, but just putting out there that Ramon is asking that question.
Yeah, go ahead, come on.
For some players, I mean, as a team, at some point, we kind of look disjointed. But as I said, we can't really base it off one game and one training session, right? So we definitely saw individual talent. We said Palmer was good, Lowe was good, Pinnock was good, what's his name? Tilt, I think his name was. I wasn't sold on Curtis Tilt, I think his name is. I wasn't really sold on him. I think that we have defensive players that actually look better than him. So I'm not sure about that. But I mean, if we bring our little pieces that we know can gel and really boost the team. Because I think one of the other things too, there was this lack of urgency in the game. I mean, they weren't, as spirited as we thought they should be or could be. But then again, that could be from the traveling and whatever. But they were okay, and we can't really judge them on this. So maybe the next game, when them play, a good enough opponent, not Trinidad or Cayman or whatever, a good enough opponent like Panama or Costa Rica, then we can have a little bit more to say about them. But to me, they were okay.
Ramon, I know Camon is not really a fan of some of them, LOL. But now is the time for me to put the plug out there that also, remember people, I would deem it a successful post-game live show after the Jamaica versus the US game last week on Thursday. So what we're going to do moving forward is we're going to introduce probably a watch-along in the Gold Cup for each World Cup, for each World Cup game and each World Cup qualifiers. So let me put my Suge Knight out there again. If you're tired of the US commentators disrespecting your team, disrespecting your country, disrespecting your federation, watch the game, but turn on Ball Chat live on whichever stream that you're watching on, and we will be doing our expert commentary with you along with the game, and we all will watch it like a big happy family. So look out for that. We're going to watch along and have a post game for the World Cup and World Cup qualifiers.
Before we get to Women's Football Report and our prediction, I want to quickly get your thoughts, prediction and preview segment. I want to quickly get your thoughts on President of the JFF, Michael Ricketts, was in Austria, and in an interview with Paul McKinnons of The Guardian, Mr. Ricketts said, we want the best. This is why they turn into the English talent. Your thoughts on this we want the best statement, and why does Michael Ricketts, President JFF, need to attend this game in Austria? Isn't that for a financially strapped organization, money that can be used other places unless in PM on where? Come on.
Mix me now. PM on where? That's what this now.
No, but all right.
Listen,
Ricketts, sorry, come on.
Everywhere.
Sorry, come on. It's just to kind of clarify this. We're not going to run bush now, straight up your talk. We have a financially strapped JFF organization. Mr. Ricketts and his group, they do some wonderful things, and some things them not get right. The question is, with money being so tight, why do we need the president of the JFF to be in Austria? I mean, does he involve in coaching? Is there a FIFA meeting? What does that involve? Why does he need to be there? That's the question.
But he does. He's not have to be there. He wants to be there. It's a difference.
Okay.
And but look at it. We know that this is what Ricketts love to do.
And Jeremy Levy said to leave Ricketts alone.
But look on France. Look on when the women put him under there, for all the time. I just don't understand. We never have the money to pay the physio. We never have the money to pay the players. I mean, I don't know what. Listen, this is Ricketts' thing, and I guess it's something that all the JFF presidents do, because Capo used to do it too. Everywhere he would go as well. So maybe no contract, maybe no Ricketts contract that the JFF president needs to go to every meaningless friendly just to oversee or just to make sure that Tapper don't get no trouble. It is so ridiculous. And guess what? Everybody should want the best, right?
Yes.
So I have no problem with him saying that the JFF is looking for the best. We want the best 11. We don't care where them come from. We don't care if they don't know the national anthem. We don't visit them never go to Jamaica before in their life. We don't care, right? That's how we see it. We want the best 11. But I don't understand why Ricketts have to just insert himself all the time. You know what? We should be happy is Wickets and not win. Can win more than a giant church.
Okay.
You guys are not fair.
Junior, sorry, before you chime in quickly, just to probably clarify, Junior, before you chime in, it's not just my President Ricketts, but previous JFF president. Why we keep wasting money with an entourage and people who don't need to be there? Go ahead, Junior. Sorry.
No, you guys are not being fair. The thing is, you need representatives at the federation to travel with the team to attract better players. So if Ricketts are at JFF delegation wasn't there, we'll answer, oh, JFF hide for the beating of America and get Jamaica. That would have been the rhetoric. Probably not from us, but by some people. So Ricketts and company is in a no-win situation. He can't win because he can't win for trying, for going there and showing him support. He can't win if him stay back and people say, oh, you're afraid of COVID while you send out the money for catch COVID. And you're not even put...
Do not tapping it. Do not tapping it. Benton.
No, let's just hear him out. Let's just hear him out. Let's just hear him out.
But that's with this pleasure. Of the line of your argument.
Let's just hear him out. Go ahead, Junior.
Idea. We have no idea if Ricketts taking a connecting flight from over there to Jamaica. We have no idea. He might be talking to somebody when named Gray in a Germany in a connecting flight.
Okay. All right. So fair enough. So Junior, your position that it might be a work-related trip or a marketing trip.
Hey, open the expenses. But Junior, so hold a second. So you are saying that the JFF president, is, in your opinion, seems to be scouting. Is that what you're saying?
I wouldn't be surprised if that is the goal.
Okay. All right.
So
okay. And then no, you think say Ricketts is going to show his face, so we can get what? More friendlies, what? Jersey, contract, what? What is it? What you think that's what he's doing? It's not working. Everywhere the Reggae Boyz go, Ricketts go. What do we have to show for it? We don't have a jersey deal. What? We don't have a jersey deal. We're still in the red. The players them still complain about money. And guess what happened? I don't even think Ricketts them have a big say in getting those players. You know who I think over there did the work? The ex-player them, the West Morgan them, the Mariappa them. Those are the players over there talking to these players. I don't think Ricketts is doing that.
All right.
And yes, Benton, we always have to say, Ricketts don't need to go everywhere because if we are strapped, you will reduce the size of the delegation and save the money.
Yeah, that's. I'm curious to know. Money kind of tight. Junior, final thoughts, final statement, Junior. I mean, you didn't answer Camon's question. What do we get out of all of them things here?
What they show that you are a serious delegation.
Yeah, but you have a head of delegation in Mr. Gaynor who led the delegation to Austria. When I saw the list of the names who are leading the delegation, Mr. Ricketts wasn't included.
Yeah, hear me?
The work trip.
Yeah, hear me? It's like how we want JFF for forward. Mr. Ricketts, if you are going to visit some European country, go visit the European country and tell people like we for move up and go.
Not on the JFF dime. Listen, hey, look here. Listen to me. I am your cousin, right? Every week I call you to borrow money from you. But on a Thursday evening, because I need get paid on a Friday. So I call you from Thursday night for borrow the money from you a week time. Come Saturday night, you see me go on Facebook or Instagram live, I light fire and I throw NSC. So I empty NSC in the fire. Next week, I call you again, ask for the money again. What do you say to me?
You know what it would have been cheaper for do? Tell you for forward with me, come and we'll drink some NSC. Mr. Ricketts, we rated. Yo, the one passport and your passport now stamp up. Out to some people. Fly go over there, go eat out. What they eat over there? Haggis and shepherd's pie and them thing there. You know why hear about the experience. You want experience. Yo, I side with Ricketts. Mr. Ricketts, forward with them. Me, hey.
Then you can't let then Ricketts and company cannot complain about not having the money to pay the players. Then they won't have the funds on their side. They won't have the funds to say, Mr. Ricketts, what you are offering to the players are not reasonable. The players are making reasonable demands. Then Ricketts can't get reap on his side because you have the money. Listen, we never complain and say the ticket probably costs $1,000. Because me, you know, it's not gonna back him fly, right? So imagine you ever tell me say you can't save that money, put it one side. Come on now, Junior.
Go ahead, Junior.
One last comment, Mental. If I was Ricketts, I would say, yo, Neymar, confirm with your sister to move our birthday party round the little international date, and hopefully Brazil Carnival roll over that, because me like Ricketts, me want experience Brazil Carnival before me check out. So hear me, Jamaica playing 2 games in Brazil during Brazilian Carnival, and Mr. Ricketts will be there scouting the South American born Jamaicans so he can bring them in. Forward on the Carnival and hug up Neymar's sister. With the wall away belly hurting.
You're terrible. Hey, just so you know that Curacao leading Cuba 2-1.
Well, thank you, come on, for doing the work. thank you. And football family, we not beat Mr. Ricketts because it's something that's been done by his predecessor. But at the same time, what we are asked the question about is, at the end of the day, we have heard it over and over. The organization have no money. They're financially strapped. It's in the red. The account book mark up with peer reading. And ultimately, the delegation is big. Can we tighten our belts a little and eliminate some of these? Some brethren say, wow, waste travels. All right, let's get to women's football report quickly before we do our preview and prediction segment and get set up for club football coming down this week. Coach Khadij Fishley, how you doing, family?
I'm good enough. I'm good. Things been going all right.
All right, bless up yourself. Before you start, I must attest and admit that Leon look like a bug side. I mean, I don't necessarily think they're going to win anything big this year because the team is centered around Leon ladies, that is centered around Renard, and this team look done. Your thoughts?
I mean, I said this a couple weeks ago. They haven't really rebuilt in a significant manner. So they were outplayed last week. Outplayed, and it's by the grace of God why they got that penalty and were able to score. But looking into it, come the next game is supposed to be pretty interesting because PSG has everything to fight for, and they need to score at least 2 to go through. So let's see what happens.
Yeah, let's get to the Women's Champions League as you brought it up. They're playing, so Chelsea play Wolfsburg this week in the second leg. That's a doozy. And PSG versus Lyon, that's also pretty tight. You think the other 2 ties are pretty much over?
Well, I don't want to say yes for the Man City Barcelona game because the Man City that I saw play earlier in the week, it's not the Man City I know. So it's 3 goals, and I don't know. Let's see what happens. Something might happen, but it will be hard because Barcelona pretty much outplayed Man City for the entire for the entire game. At no point in time did you think that Man City would get into it. So let's see if the coach changes his game plan and try and attack Barcelona with some effort.
Okay, and the big striker, Hermoso of Barca ladies is the big fancy scorer. Chelsea quickly. Chelsea's in a tight little match with Wolfsburg. Your thoughts? They go to Budapest for the second leg.
I know I was bringing Chelsea to win everything, but I honestly don't know how we came through that game with a win.
Yeah,
that was a crazy game to me. We should have been 3 or 4-0 down before halftime, but I guess it's testament to the team. They were resolute in defense and they took their chances, because that chance from Sam Kerr, that was a very tight angle, and not many would have given her would have said that she would have scored that.
Yeah, testament to the team, our wastefulness for Wolfsburg. Wolfsburg could use harder in front of goal the other day.
It's a bit of both. It's a bit of both.
If you can't beat them, you buy them off. That is the Chelsea mantra.
It has been successful to us over the last decade, so why mess with a winning formula?
Yeah, but I don't think so. Wolfsburg beaten all this time for the last few years in the Champions League. When that was successful at that last decade.
Well, it was successful for the men. Hopefully, it works out for us for the women.
Oh, men football attack.
It's one club, and I should mention that Roman Abramovich did an interview recently.
Yeah.
And I appreciate the way he spoke about the women's team. And he said that the women's team is very much a part of the club, and they stand for what they represent, what Chelsea stands for, and that he will continue to support the women's team as long as he's owner. And I appreciate that. Right. Shows again why he's one of the best owners in the business.
Okay, all right, Chelsea family. All right, let's get the women's football report and talk about the Women's Super League. You know what? Chelsea women is sitting on top of that table.
Yeah, we're still on top. The game that everyone should look out for is what's coming in about a month time, and that is the Chelsea-Manchester City game. Because if Manchester City wins, then it's pretty much over for Chelsea, and if Chelsea wins, it's Chelsea's league. And I'm looking forward to that game. It's just a month away, so I'm looking forward to it. I should also let you know that the Manchester United women's team made history for being the first women's team to play at Old Trafford, and they were able to grace Old Trafford with a win. You know, something it comes and goes at times for the men's team, but they were able to they outplayed West Ham, and they were 2 goals to the good.
So why did they never play the Manchester derby at Old Trafford and not West Ham?
Those games have already gone. So, but I remember
because
last
West Ham
season,
a beating stick. West Ham ladies a beating stick.
Actually, they're not usually.
Okay.
They usually give the top teams a fight, but I don't know. This season, I didn't expect them to be in last place. Okay. Honestly.
All right. What else is going on in women's football?
What else is going? Olympique Lyonnais, they're still 1 point behind PSG in the league. Trying very hard to retake that lead, because what French league is? Sorry, what type of league is it if Lyon doesn't win? So that's going on. Last I remember, Roma, which has our own Alison Swaby, they're on a good run. They beat Juventus recently, and no one gave them a chance to beat Juventus. They played an interesting game between them and Inter, where they came out 4-3 winners with some very good games. And I think I tweeted you guys one of the goals as well.
Yes.
So yeah, Alison Swaby is doing well in Roma, but of course Juventus is still on top in that league. Barcelona is still on top in Spain. Yeah, it's pretty much the same. The league to watch is the WSL. And I should also mention though that with the 3-0 win in the week, Bayern Munich is on a 25-game winning streak.
Backside. Quickly before you go, I know. By the way, is there anything else in the Jamaican women's football circle?
There's absolutely nothing.
There's absolutely nothing.
I'm actually doing JFF's job on Twitter because as you see, every time Alison Swaby does something or Bunny does something, I am the one to tweet it out. So there's absolutely nothing going on in that corner.
Maybe we should use the plane ticket money on Haya in turn.
Probably. Get a social media manager.
Yeah, but I thought I saw a report where Bon Falas got a contract, Jamaican International Reggae Girls, to play in Iceland. If I'm not mistaken.
I haven't seen that anywhere to be honest.
Yeah. She did.
Okay, maybe the Yardballers report will highlight that.
I'll have to go look into it. So that's another league that I'll have to keep up with now.
Yeah. All right.
I have to support it.
And before you go, football family, we know you normally do the ladies report, but you're a football fan, you're a coach, and you coach boys and girls prior to the break, this pandemic issue. Your quick thoughts on the Reggae Boyz versus USA game? You look at 5 cents, because we know that you're a fan of the Reggae Boyz. Yeah, look at 5 cents.
Well, I'm a fan because I'm a Jamaican and I want to see Jamaica do well. We were just played out of the park, but I can't really judge them because our local ballers have not played in over a year.
Okay.
And we're bringing in new players and they only had 2 training sessions. So there was not much to be expected. I don't think that they should have played against the USA. No.
Okay.
That shouldn't have been the game for us to play because we are nowhere near the USA's level. We should have picked someone that's a bit closer to us in level and try and get this place to gel. But you choose big bad USA, so you get deducted.
So, but I think Junior mentioned we should have played Kim on our Cuba.
I've said that from the game got announced.
And of course, it's a bigger pay deal. Kim and Cuba is not paying US pay deal. But overall, you just think that with time and with preparation, they could probably mold this team into a very competitive outfit.
Definitely, because if we add some of the top players that we have now, like Leon Bailey and we carry back in Blake, and then we get those who we are rumored to get, we have a good chance to make the next World Cup.
Okay.
That depends on what the JFF decides to do.
All right. All right, football family. We're going to definitely watch a Wolfsburg versus Chelsea ladies game this week, this Wednesday, right?
Yep. At 7 in the morning.
Oh,
just to let you.
That's fine. We'll definitely watch it. We're going to definitely watch. And it's so hard to find coverage of the games here in the States. TV rights seems to be an issue, a blackout of these games.
Right. I know, but I forgot to mention that during this week there was a landmark deal announced between Sky Sports and the BBC Sport, who have committed to showing the WSL games. And that deal is worth around £8 million, if I'm not mistaken. So that is a landmark deal, for the women's game, and that shows that England is moving in the right direction with getting the coverage.
Yeah, and yeah, come on, you were saying something quickly.
I watched the Chelsea game on YouTube. It was live on YouTube, so you can also check YouTube to see their streams.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. The Chelsea try and show the games a lot, so it's usually on YouTube or on Facebook or on the Chelsea app.
Okay. All right, family. Stay safe. Until the next Women's Football Report. Good luck to your Chelsea. And like me say, I was wrong on Leon. You were right. That's why you're the expert.
I'll take that one. All right.
Bless up.
Bye. Yeah.
All right, football family. Let's get to preview and prediction segment. Club football returned this week, and some people skin are scratching because they miss club football. The big game coming on in English Premier League is Leicester City versus Man City and Arsenal versus Liverpool. Quickly, your thoughts on those games. Let me get those up for us. And just to remind football family of where the leagues are, and as we get ready for club football to come to return. We have Serie A. Inter Milan is sitting at the top in Serie A. In La Liga, Atletico Madrid is sitting, has, you know, a 4-point lead. In the EPL, of course, Man City. But what's interesting is in the French league, Lille and Paris Saint-Germain are tied on points. So that's an interesting lay of land in the French league. It's unusual where you see Lille and Paris, they play each other. We'll preview that in a minute. And in the EPL, of course, Man City sitting on the top. All right, let's get to preview and prediction. Leicester City versus Man City.
Man City 3-1.
Man City 3-1. Junior?
Yeah, Man City should win. But I have a hard question though.
Yeah.
Will all the players be available? Because with COVID protocol, you know somebody's going to come back positive.
And so that is the curious question. I know that's why South American players, South America suspended their World Cup qualifiers because of travel restriction regarding their players. And of course, FIFA giving clubs the green light to not let players go. So availability of players that may have traveled for World Cup qualifiers is going to be a key thing. Right, come on?
Yeah.
Arsenal versus Liverpool is the next big game in the EPL this Sunday. Arsenal, your thoughts on that game, Arsenal versus Liverpool?
Boy, that one is rough. Two little butter team. I'm going to give it to Liverpool. Barely squeaking out a 2-1 victory over Arsenal.
I go give it to Arsenal because Arteta had nothing to do for the last week but sit down and play that game in his head consistently for 7-8 days straight. I think Arteta is going to come up with a plan to stifle Liverpool.
Well, and Klopp has not done the same. Klopp don't have enough. The Sunday have time to stand out too.
I've never seen Liverpool come out and play different football. We've seen Arsenal come out and play different.
And the next big game, Bayern Munich versus RB Leipzig in the German league. Bayern Munich is leading, but RB Leipzig sitting in second place. But Bayern Munich, it should be the brakes off them, right?
I don't know about brakes. Maybe a spark plug, but yes, I think Bayern will beat them.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree. And the interesting game for me is this PSG versus Lille game. Both teams sitting at the top. Lille has overachieved. I mean, I can see Lille being very physical with PSG in this game and make their life very miserable.
I think PSG will. You know what? No. Let me say it's going to be a tie.
Junior?
I can see Mbappe and company just being annoyed that they are playing a top of the table clash this late in the season and beat the living daylights out of Lille. I think PSG is going to send a message. I think Pochettino, one of his skills is getting his team ready to send a message when they should win a game. And that's going to happen. I really think so.
Yeah, and so one of the things that PSG struggled with, they struggled against Monaco. They lost to Monaco when Monaco parked the bus against them. I mean, I envision that Lille would probably do the same thing. I mean, you don't expect Lille to do that?
No, and with these games, it's not about technical ability, it's not about preparation. The reality is, does PSG want to win this game? That's what the game going to boil down to. Because they are better.
Yeah,
and I think Poch is a coach. He's not Tuchel. Poch knows how to beat a team that he should beat. And with all the spotlight coming on this game, motivation is high.
Yeah, huge game in the French league because this potentially could be a title decider. Both teams sitting on top, tied on points. PSG has a much superior goal difference, of course. Quickly, before we get to Yardballers report, Peter Bosz, another big news that occurred this week. Peter Bosz is out. Leon Bailey is getting a new manager. Rudy Voller and company decided to let Peter go. Your thoughts on this sacking?
I mean, it's nothing new. The team's not performing. They think they need a change. So who they going to get rid of? The players on the pitch? The coach will have to go.
But they were
So,
leaving the Bundesliga a few weeks ago, right?
yeah, and that's the issue. I mean, they've kind of fallen off, and I think they wanted a change. They want to play Champions League football, and now it's a struggle for them. So, I mean, I don't think they didn't win the last game. I think it was the last 1-0, I think it was.
Yeah, they lost. Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just time for a change. They saw that it worked for Bayern Munich, so they're trying. Mönchengladbach is doing the same. They are doing the same thing. So they have to get a change in the coaching staff to allow Bayern to just kind of try to do something.
Yeah, Junior, quickly chime in before we get to Yardballers report, and I want to get your thoughts on Mönchengladbach quickly before we get to Yardballers. Go ahead, Junior.
Let me just correct your comment about Leon Bailey. Leon Bailey was going to get a new coach next season anyway.
Okay.
But apart from that, Bayern, you're not Munich. You're Leverkusen. So stop with the foolishness. You are where you are because that's where you deserve to be. You're not going to be any higher. So let's stop with the foolishness, man.
Quickly, another quick point. Mönchengladbach is without a coach being announced for next season. Xabi Alonso, formerly of Liverpool and Real Madrid legend or great, was linked to the job according to Fabrizio Romano. And then Xabi Alonso decided to extend his Sociedad B contract for another year. Is it weird that Mönchengladbach cannot even attract Xabi Alonso?
Not necessarily. I mean, what if he doesn't want to live? I mean, it's different culture, different everything. What if he does not want to go there? Maybe it's a good enough club, but maybe he just doesn't want to go there.
It just says something to me that he would rather coach the B side at Sociedad than take on the helm of Mönchengladbach.
Yeah. Man, I want to learn a new language.
Junior, quickly, your thoughts. Yardballers time before we go to Yardballers.
You want to ask about a league we've done already.
All right, Yardballers, guys. Junior don't have no time for talk about Xabi Alonso and Mönchengladbach. Come on, Yardballers.
Before that Trinidad score, so Trinidad is leading Puerto Rico 1-0.
But you hear that, Trinidad? We are a soca warriors.
Yeah, but surely, I mean, Trinidad should beat Puerto Rico. They don't even play ball in Puerto Rico. It's baseball.
What is man?
All right, Yardballers, highlighting Jamaican players playing a trade overseas. Come on.
So it's kind of quiet on the local baller scene. People are in preseason. I just wanted to say that Devon Speedy Williams scored a goal in Miami FC's preseason game versus New York Red Bulls. It was a good enough goal, and Speedy has fit right in. Romeo Parks has scored 2 goals in 2 games for Sligo Rovers. The first goal was a nice little banger. So that's why I say Romeo still has it. And in that Romeo is whatever. And then he should also be in the pool because Kappa can never have enough strikers. So our girl Khadija Shaw, she made the list at number 31 of the best 50 female footballers in the world. It's a remarkable feat because she has ranked higher than Marta at 35, the US Alex Morgan, who's at 38, and even Megan Rapinoe at 40. So that's an accomplishment. Then Babyface killer, our own Jodie Brown, she has been named in the Concacaf U20 Women Team of the Year by the International Federation of Football History and Statistics. So big up to Jodie. Congrats on the honor. Keep it up. You're always representing for us. And Jamaica record girl Dominique Bon Flaza has inked a deal with the Icelandic Women's Top Division club. All right, I'm going to butcher the name. Benton, you forgot to help me.
No, man, you got it, man.
But anyway, so she'll start, she'll report to a new club in the summer. So she just signed. a deal. So that was kind of like cool. I didn't know that her dad is Polish. So, you know, she's a right back. She's 24 and she played in Poland. So she's going to join this new team in the summer. So that's pretty good. So, permission has been granted to the Jamaica Premier League for training to commence in a controlled environment. I spoke to two coaches and they're having some issues because they don't understand what is meant as a controlled environment. What is a controlled bubble? How is it being done? So I think nothing has been outlined, and I think coaches and players are actually puzzled by what they think they should do. So, Minister of Local Government, Desmond McKenzie, he says they have the green light to resume training. He's quick to say that this is like a permit for the return of any competition and that training would be monitored on a daily basis by the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Management. So I just don't understand what is going on. We're in the end of March, April. I mean, like, when will the league start? They're talking about starting the competition in April, but with the weekend lockdown, with the COVID lockdown, COVID restrictions put in place by Andrew Holness and the JLP, what will happen? I don't think that the competition will actually start in April. So it's good that Desmond gave them the green light to train. Maybe they'll be a little bit fit for Tapa to pick them when it's World Cup times or whatever. They can earn some money. But green light is only given for training, and they'll watch it, and then they will see what will happen. So on March 25th, the chairman of the Professional Football League, who's Christopher Williams, he said that they're giving themselves 6 more days. Because remember that they had said that there was a deadline, but that they needed to get the information from the government to find out what they need to do to start back the league. He says that they're giving themselves 6 more days to continue discussions with the local health authorities to see when they will start the Premier League. He says that the board took this decision and that they need to, have the discussion so they can find out what the future of the league will look like. And they don't have a date, but he says, he has secured Digicel as the presenting sponsor with a 3-year deal worth $200 million. And then Sportsmax will be the broadcast partner for the next 3 seasons. So, he's working behind the scenes, getting things set up, but we just don't have a start date for the Jamaica Premier League. So I just think this season is a wash. If somebody can tell us something different, but I also think it's going to work good. And that's my roundup for Yardballers.
Yeah, respect, family. I mean, I guess with the new COVID restriction, it's probably hard. So they're waiting for the government to define the control environment for practice?
No, I guess because the coaches that I spoke to, they're saying that they don't understand what they mean by a controlled environment. So, maybe they have not gotten clear directives. Maybe Desmond thinks that they understand that everything needs to be, sanitized and everybody's come together. But I think there's nothing formal, because if there was something formal, coaches would not, be wondering what is it that they actually need to do.
Okay, all right. Junior, any final thoughts before we step away, family?
We were, Mr. Rickett, if you're listening, what else I joke with you, I don't want anybody to say that Ball Chat is trying to suck up or anything. But let me just put it out there again that we are a football family. Ball Chat Podcast is a football family. We come on every week. I do remember we were on during the COVID lockdown. We were on the whole year, right? We made some changes within the show to accommodate the COVID restrictions, just to show you how much we care about football and care about the development of football, especially in our country. So tell on a friend, tell on the family members, and I know some people really love football. Join the fun. We are on every platform. We have audio recordings that goes up, and Ball Chat is going to go places. And you guys are part of something very special from early that years from now. You're going to look back and say, I remember when Ball Chat was like a dibby dibby show and blah, blah, blah. Look how them fancy now. So look out for it, people. We're going to take off.
Junior, it sounds like you got a text message from someone.
What up? I mean, I get
management text Junior for clean up language.
Excuse me. I'm sorry. Before Junior blood pressure go up,
yeah.
Puerto Rico equalized. So it's 1-1.
So Puerto Rico equalized with Trinidad.
Yeah, give me 30 seconds of ranting. So my question is this, because I've talked to a couple of footballers as well. There's no income. I want to know, with all the sponsorship, all the money coming in, is it possible that the Jamaica Premier League could do like a care package to the players, even to give them a portion of the salary, because what's happening is not their fault, right? So a lot of them are struggling mentally and physically. They're struggling. So I hope the Premier League is actually putting something together to help them, and the JFF can work with the Premier League, forgive some of the debt them with them have, and just use the money and help some of the players them, because trust me, some are really, really struggling.
Yes, indeed. And I think the point that you brought up about maybe start them off on their contract now, pay them half, man have to eat. I want to know. They have to eat and they have their families to take care of. And of course, their new restriction now being implemented by the government as the COVID numbers were getting a bit outrageous. Football family, as Camon says, Puerto Rico versus Trinidad is tied 1-1. Curacao is leading Cuba 2-1. Montserrat is trailing El Salvador 1-0. Of course, Dominica lost to Panama earlier. Football family, if you're first time joining the show, subscribe to our YouTube platform, subscribe to our Facebook page.